Today's video I'm going to do a product review of Athearn Genesis SD70s in two Illinois Central or Illinois Central Golf Fantasy paint schemes. These were released in May of 2023, and I'm going to do a test run on the layout here real quick, and then go ahead and stick around for an unboxing and a little bit more in-depth view of these particular locomotives. and start unboxing these and talk just a little bit about them. We'll do them both here. So again, typical standard Athearn packaging in the outer sleeve, blue box. Have the instruction manual or locomotive manual, I guess. Good to know. Here are the function maps, and you go ahead and pause the video if you need to take a look at these a little bit closer. Again, this is all pretty standard for Athearn with their locomotives, the documentation that comes with it. These are nicely packaged in an outer blister sleeve. So here is locomotive 1040 and the original green diamond Illinois Central logo. Let me get this stuff out of the way and we'll take a closer look. Before we take a closer look at 1040, just because we're given both equal billing here today, just real quick, here is the orange and white modeled 7200, packaged exactly the same way. It stands out very nicely. Get this out of the package here real quick, and then we'll put both models side by side and take a look at them. One thing I will say is they've definitely increased the amount of plastic wrap that they've used to line the shell with the locomotive in it. Okay, so we'll get this stuff out of the way and we'll take a look at both of these locomotives here and start looking at the details. I think what strikes me the most interesting about both these locomotives is how unique they are from the standpoint that these are essentially fantasy liveries, and you don't see these you've never seen these as a prototype. And I think just looking at these, knowing that the orange and white and the green diamond paint liveries were long gone before the SD70s were acquired by the Illinois Central, and they were painted in what we know as the Death Star scheme. So it's a little bit interesting to look at both of these and see them in some of the more original paint schemes that the Illinois Central and the Illinois Central Gulf had. I'm not going to go into too much detail simply because I did a pretty comprehensive product review of the most recent run of Athearn Genesis SD70s. About 2.5–3 years ago, they came out with the Illinois Central Death Star scheme, and then Canadian National that had the IC markings on it. So you can go back into my channel and find that. I think what's interesting is these units do have the air conditioning on them, dynamic brakes. We'll just slide this a little bit forward here so you can take a better look at the details of the locomotive. I think it's kind of interesting and unique also how, and it probably doesn't show real well on the camera, but this area actually protrudes out, and ILL is not on the same plane as the INOIS on the long hood. If I turn it sideways here, you can see that just a little bit. See how it protrudes out there. From the side, it looks fine, straight on from the side, but depending on what angle you're looking at, it's a little bit interesting. Regardless, really highly detailed locomotive. Does have ditch lights. Again, I think it's very unique that you see an orange and white Illinois Central Gulf locomotive ditch lights. They were not mandatory before the scheme went away. Here's just another close-up view of the engineer side. Again, very highly detailed. So, beautiful locomotive. This locomotive particularly, I think, looks incredibly sharp with the black, the green diamond, the white sill strip, the original font for the numbers on the long hoods, the road number on the long hood. Very beautiful locomotive. They really nailed the paint on the orange and white in this one. This is good Illinois Central Gulf orange. This one, the originators of the matte black paint. You see that a lot nowadays. Back when this was introduced 70 plus years ago, matte black wasn't the thing. Everything was glossy or shiny.